I've got the horseshoe area sectioned off just around the crown. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to start to do my braid. I want it to stay roughly a 1/2 inch size. I'm going to start braiding. I can pick up from one side or I can pick up from both sides. I want to pick up just from the bottom. So I'm going to pick up here. I'm going to add in. Don't add in on top, or you can add in if you want to, but some people find it easier just to work in one direction. I'm going to cross over. I'm going to pick up here. I'm going to add into my braid. I'm going to crisscross over. I'm going to take this hair over here. I'm going to pick up, just add a little bit of hair in, crisscross that hair. I don't want to get ahead of myself. I want to hold it tight to the head. I don't want to get too big, so I'm trying to keep it in that 1/2 inch section. I'm going to crisscross over here. Again, just scooping the bottom a little bit, a couple of hairs at a time, working that braid in. So crisscross, you can do over, you can do under, so visible or invisible braid, it's up to you. Whatever you feel more comfortable doing. I'm going to crisscross, pulling it tight. The whole idea is this is going to give you a base to sew that extension in. So by having that braid nice and tight, hair grows 1/2 inch per month. We want to be able to have it nice and secure so that extension service lasts that client for a couple of months before you have to take it out and move the braid up again. So you're going to take it out and redo the braid and sew it in again for them. So you want to get it as tight as possible, right to the center back. And then we're going to finish that braid off a little bit to the end just to secure it for when we sew, and then we will undo the leftover braid after we finish sewing. So I've crisscrossed all the way past the center back. I want to keep going with my braid right in here. So I'm going to keep going in here, finish that off with elastic or cushion with my comb, and that braid should be nice and tight. Side where the braid starts and where it ends on the other side. We're going to go in, I'm just going to place it and clip it just to help sort of hold it in place as I go. Give me some added support. I'm going to go in and I'm going to attach this right at the start of the braid. I want to make sure when I'm stitching, I'm going to go in the stitched part of the extension. So I need to catch the stitching. I'm going to go in, I'm going to catch the braid. I have my curved needle. I'm going to go around, and then I'm going to make sure the knot is at the end. I'm going to slide that all through. So pull that down to the end. And then I'm going to go through the 2 threads. So right in the middle, I'm going to find my needle going through the middle for the first one, and to create my first sort of slip knot. Make sure the hair is not tangled, so I'm going to use my fingers, pull it up and get it secure. The next one, I want it to be a 1/16 of an inch away. I'm going to go in. I'm going to put my needle through, curving it out. I want to grab my hand through the center of the loop. So I grab my thread. I'm going to pull it through, and it will create a slip knot as we go. So every time I want to sort of secure it to create a knot, I'm going to go 1/16 of an inch over. I'm going to curve this hair, the needle through. I'm going to go through the center and pull it through. I'm going to continue all the way over to the other side. Middle, so those braids should be crisscrossing each other to secure that hair in. And again, go through, slide and create a knot. Go in, come up, and you want to go through, make a slip knot, and get that nice and secure. Now, just to the end, I'm going to keep going as I work my way all the way around the head. So 1/4 of an inch, no bigger, gap in between. I'm going to go in, make it nice and secure. Again, people are paying good money to get this done. You want to make sure it's 1/4 of an inch away, slip through the center, slide your knot, keep going all the way to the very end here. And then on a client, it would have been pre-measured, or you'd be trimming off at the end of the extension. You don't have a flap loose, so it's got to all be secured, or you're trimming the end off. I'm going to go through, so I've got about maybe 3 more slip knots to do. And then I'm going to tie it off and make sure it's secure. And I'm going to show you how we're going to check in the back. So again, right to the very end, come through, go through on the stitching, hook it through, put your needle in between the loop, and pull it tight every time. So you want to make sure it's securing every time, so pull it tight every time. I'm going to do one more without poking myself. Go through the center, slip knot right to the very end. Now I'm going to tie it off. I'm going to go through. I want to slide it down. So a trick to sliding it down is put the needle in at the base and slide it down. I'm going to go through. So you got to have enough thread left. I'm going to put my needle in the loop. I slide my needle down and then pull it tight. I can do that about 4 or 5 times. So I'm going to put my loop in. I'm going to pull it down and secure it. I'm going to go through the middle. I want to put my needle in the loop. So there's the loop. I'm putting my needle in, slide it down and pull it tight. In, so around, create a loop, put my needle in the loop. So needle in, slide the needle down right to the base. Once I've got 4 or 5 knots in there, I feel that it's fairly secure. I can just go in and just do it a couple more times right at that base to make sure that it's not going to come through the stitching of that weft. I don't want it to let go, so I want to make sure that she's pretty anchored in there. And then I'm going to take my scissors and I'm just going to trim that end off. And then I should have, again, I want to put my needle back into my thread or into my gold wrap so that I don't lose it. And I want to make sure that I've got from one end to the other, nothing should be left over. I've got it nice and secure, and my fingers cannot go through anywhere in that braid. So it's nice and tight.